Today's video is brought to you by Squarespace, my go-to for building a website and online shop. Hello everyone, in today's video we are going to finally finish this old landscape oil painting with the final glazing pass. The subtle early golden hour color palette was a challenge for me to get right, so in this video I'll be talking about the small but impactful adjustments I needed to make in order to take this piece to the finish line. If you'd like to see several hours of real-time tutorials where I recorded voiceover as I was working, along with hundreds of hours of exclusive content and monthly art rewards, feel free to check out my Patreon at patreon.com/happydartist. To quickly recap our journey up until now, I painted everything in one main pass other than the quick underpainting. I like to paint the farthest away elements in the background first, and then work my way to the closest elements in the foreground last. This means I usually start with the sky, and then faraway mountains, and then faraway trees, and then the close-up trees and foliage. Since I don't paint a ton of landscapes, I'm not very good at making correct guesses right off the bat. So whenever I start a painting with the sky, I always tend to make the colors a bit too light and too cool. By the time I finish the land, I always realize the sky doesn't quite match up. There's a feeling of disjointedness between the top half and the bottom half of the painting because the sky feels like a daytime, almost swimming pool blue, while the rest of the piece has warmer golden hour lighting. I also feel like the center furthest away mountain in the distance is a bit too purple, and certain parts where the golden hour sunset touches the trees and other foliage feels too yellow and not orange enough. Overall, I think this piece just needs one final glazing pass to unify the land and the sky, and also reinforce that warm sunset glow overall. Before the glazing pass, I first took a photo of my piece and then used Procreate to mock up my proposed changes, just to make sure that it'll actually look good. When I put the before and after photos side by side, I realized the changes I wanted to make were so subtle that I feared I may not be able to tell the difference later on. But when I lay the two images on top of each other and then turn one on and off, I can see the difference. Hopefully you can too. Now that the digital mockup is complete, let's start glazing. The piece has been thoroughly dried for over a month now, so I know it's safe to oil out. I'm using the solvent-free gel medium from Sennelier Green for Oil, which is allegedly non-toxic, whatever that means. I applied a thin layer of the medium over my completely dried painting, and then I used my hands to smooth it out and work the medium into every little groove of the canvas. Of course, gloves are essential for this step. After oiling out, I wait about 10 minutes for the medium to set, and now it's time to apply color. One color I really loved using for this is Radiant Magenta from Gamblin, which is this nice pastel pink color, great for making those chromatic yet light coral tones to pop off in the clouds. Glazing to me is all about trying things on for size, and if they don't fit, you can easily wipe them away. Rather than needing to mix the exact correct color right off the bat, with glazing you can utilize the transparency of the glaze to interact with the colors underneath. So for example, if I wanted something to look purple, I can just layer some pinkish tones on top of blue. I don't have to literally mix the color purple. This freedom allows for a sense of experimentation and improvisation that makes the glazing pass relatively low risk and extremely fun, especially since it's very easy to erase and wipe away any mistakes. I'm also dusting some blue over that distant mountain in the center. This is where my lack of landscape experience truly began to show. I only knew the very general rule of atmospheric perspective, that elements further in the distance would appear bluer and fainter during the daytime, and they would appear more orange during golden sunset hour. Basically, the furthest away distant objects would take on the color of the sky depending on the time of day. But I kind of cornered myself into a confusing dilemma almost with my sort of early golden hour, but not quite peak sunset lighting, where I couldn't really say exactly what the color of the sky / atmosphere was, and therefore I didn't know what color to make that distant mountain. I first tried out pink for the main pass, and it ended up feeling kind of weird. So I just glazed some blue on top of it to make it look more purple, and I kind of like that better. Okay, after about an hour of glazing, I sat there and stared at the piece, thinking to myself, did I just waste the last hour doing nothing? Does anything even look different from before? Without having photos to compare, it was really hard for me to verify that I had made any difference in this piece. So now it's time for the moment of truth. I took photos of the piece before and after the glazing pass, and let's put them side by side to compare. I guess I can kind of see a difference. Now let's overlay one on top of the other. Okay, I can definitely see a difference now. It's subtle because it's just color adjustments, but I really do feel like the color palette feels more cohesive after the glazing pass, and the general vibe is more harmonious and warm. What do you guys think? And that about wraps up today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. The original has already been spoken for, but I'll have fine art prints of this piece up in my shop at happyd-artist.com. And of course, you guessed it, my eternal never-ending sale is still going on in my shop. So if you'd like 20% off your order of prints and originals, just enter the code HOLIDAY at happyd-artist.com. And if you're interested in learning more about how to paint and draw, I have lots of art educational content on my Patreon page, including exclusive video tutorials, step-by-step photo tutorials, live streams, podcasts, and even surprise art gift boxes. All available at patreon.com/happydartist. I'd love to have you join my Patreon family. A big thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video and supporting the art community. I've been using Squarespace for 10 years now, and it's been an integral part of being able to make a living as an artist. Aside from their beautiful customizable templates and easy-to-use interface, Squarespace now has so many robust tools to help make website building be both effective and intuitive. There's a new design intelligence feature that uses a combination of industry experience and cutting-edge AI to help you make a website bespoke to your brand and digital identity. Squarespace takes the intimidation out of setting up an online shop with their intuitive e-commerce platform that accepts every type of payment method you can imagine, all with just a few simple clicks, so you can easily sell your work all around the world. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/happydartist to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Also, if you want to check out more artworks, works in progress, and just random daily artist adventures, feel free to check out my Instagram, and you can follow me at the handle @happydartist.